this weekend for the Carolina Panthers, I don't think head coaches think this way, but I agree football is built this way. There is a line drawn between the offense and the defense.
Very much so.
You have your team meetings, and then you go to offense and defense meetings. And team meetings are often motivation and a little wishy-washy, a little schedule. Be on the bus at this time. You go to the offense and defense meetings, you talk real stuff, right? You talk about scouting reports and game plans and everything else. The offense, and specifically Bryce Young, have a get-right game this weekend. Now, the defense has their own issues, right? The defense is going to have to deal with the Dallas Cowboys, led by Dak Prescott and led by George Pickens and Javonte Williams, who North Carolina Tar Heel fans know very well.
Oh, yeah.
They've got Jake Ferguson as the tight end. They're cranking, right? Don't get me wrong. Their offense is doing very well.
I think Williams is third in the league in rushing, I believe.
From a fantasy perspective, he's doing very well. As somebody that didn't pick him. But yes, he's near the top of the league in many rushing categories, both traditional and the advanced analytics love what he's doing. So the offense that's defense better strap up. Offense, and specifically Bryce Young, meaning the pass offense, the Cowboys stink.
Yeah, they do.
The Cowboys, they stink in a way that if you need a get-right game, it is good to see the Dallas Cowboys on the schedule for your offense. Now, I think that's where we have to acknowledge that the offense and defense are separate, right? If the defense gives up 42 points and Bryce Young is efficient, throws for a bunch of yards and puts up 35, you're going to feel bad because of the loss. But you do have to then have the nuance and the context to say, hopefully that sparks something with Bryce Young. I have some of the numbers here just to illustrate what I'm saying. On average, Dallas gives up 304 passing yards per game.
That's insane.
No other team in the NFL gives up 270. Gives up more than 270. I think his second was 270.6. So that means the bad passing defenses in the league are giving up 265, 270. And the Cowboys give up 304 passing yards. On average, they give up 2.4 passing touchdowns per game. That's third most in the NFL. And just to add on to that, they give up 0.4 rushing touchdowns to quarterbacks per game, fourth most in the NFL. So quarterbacks have had an absolute feast when playing against the Dallas Cowboys, which you look towards Bryce Young, and part of me is saying it's an opportunity for you to get right. Right, it's an opportunity for you to get into a rhythm that you haven't been in yet. Even in wins, the volume hasn't been there. The high passing yards hasn't been there. You haven't really been the driver of the wins. But also part of me says if you can't do it against this defense, that's more real than not being able to do it against other defenses.
Yeah, they give up 3.6 touchdowns per game as a whole. The Dallas defense does.
And we just 2.8 of them are either passing or rushing touchdowns by the quarterback.
Yeah.
It's rare that you face a defense that is struggling like this. At times last year would have been similar to the Bengals, where an offense is that good, a defense is that bad. So opposing teams' offenses have to keep their foot on the gas, knowing that you're up against an explosive offense. And the defense is that poor that you can keep your foot on the gas and keep having success throughout the game.
Can the Panthers handle a shootout? I mean, that's the question. Dallas has no problem playing a shootout because they've basically been in that all season long.
Yeah, they're let's go to 2 overtimes and play to 45. That's what they like to do.
They average 30.2 points per game, which is fourth most in the NFL, but they give up 30.8, which is, like you said, one of the worst in the entire leagues. They're used to playing in the upper 20s, low 30s. That's just what they do. I don't know if Carolina can handle that.
Which sometimes I think for a player like Bryce Young, it's really nice to know on Tuesday.
Yeah.
You got to put up points.
Yeah.
It's really nice to know on Tuesday, hey, if we get down a score, if we get down 2 scores like they did against Miami, we can't use the blueprint to come back that we used against Miami. We can't stay that dedicated to the run.
No.
We can't try to nickel and dime our way back and trust the defense to hold them. So you're going to have to sling it. So you get to be put into that mind frame early on, right? We're going to have to score. And it's not let's be patient. It's not let's wait for our moment. It's let's force it. And again, as a former quarterback, and I know Bryce's confidence can be up and down based on how he's been playing. I like that stuff. right? I like going into a game knowing, hey, we don't start counting till we hit 30. Like it's how many over 30 we get is how we're going to be judged this game, because it like opens you up to, I don't want to say be reckless, but push it downfield, right? If you get a play where Fritterer McMillan is your first option on something downfield, I'm not saying you stare it down and wait, but you take that extra beat to go, I'm going to give you 2 more steps to beat this guy, T-Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know that, this throw to Mitchell Evans for 2 yards and step out of bounds isn't going to get it done, because that's not what Dak Prescott is going to do on the other side. It's a different mindset that I think they have to go into this game with. And it goes against what I think most believe this team is built to do, which is run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, trust your defense. Against Dallas, that's less plausible other than to start.
I think this is where this is my concern if it does get into a shootout mode. Because I think if Dave Canales had his choice early in the game, let's get a nice long 14-play drive. Let's grind some clock out, go up 7-0 and force Dallas to chase us. But I don't know if that's going to be a thing, because a big concern, you and I have talked about it, is the fact that they can't score quickly. They don't have the ability to score explosive plays on offense. There's only 1 touchdown this entire season on offense that has been more than 7 yards. That came week 1 against Jacksonville. Late. And that was a dump off to Chuba Hubbard. So that's the concern for me as well about this offense, is the fact that they don't have the explosive plays consistently enough. Yes, Rico had the 53-yarder and the 43-yarder, but that was like, oh my God, where did this come from? Because you hadn't seen it all season. Jalen Waddle catches a 46-yard touchdown pass, and you're like, that makes sense on a 3-play drive that put Miami up ahead. Dallas can do that to you. I don't know if Carolina can do that. Can they get a 40-yard touchdown? I don't see it happening with this team. That's my big concern if they get in a shootout.
Don't get me wrong. I still think plan A for the Panthers is run the ball, play defense, control 100%, everything.
100%.
I just think against a team like Dallas, you have to abandon that earlier.
Probably.
Right? You go out with, if your defense gives up a touchdown on the first drive, I have no problem. Run the ball, pound the ball, give it to Rico Dowdle a whole bunch of times on that next drive. If it doesn't work, I don't know if you go out the second drive with the same kind of attitude of we're going to go on a 14-play grinding drive because that's what we do. Because, if Dallas gets up 2 scores, I don't care if it's 10-0. They're going to score more. Like they're going to, because their offense is that talented, and Dak is seeing the field really, really well, and he's got some talent around him. So with that, I have the only story I really have along these lines is when I was playing in college, we played Old Dominion, ODU.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like Taylor Heineke era. And we had an all-American running back, and we were built to run. And I vividly remember we were kind of getting pushed around up front a little bit by ODU stacking the box. At halftime, our head coach came up and talked to me, which our head coach usually did not talk to me at halftime. It would be coordinators and position coaches. He came up and he said, "Hey, I just told," and he said our offensive coordinator's name. "We just got to throw it." And I was like, ooh, never heard that one before. Came out in the second half. They were obviously selling out to stop the run. We had a good day, ended up winning the game. And that's, would have been really nice to do that, third drive of the game or something like that. And I think that's what you have to do against the Dallas Cowboys, because, you got to make that kind of switch earlier on, and it shows confidence in Bryce. And you do kind of put in your mind, maybe, if you can't do it against this defense, we start to question whether you can, or we continue to question whether you can do it. So it's a learning process. You're taking in a bunch of information. I just want everybody to know that you might not think the Panthers will beat the Cowboys. You're not thinking that because of their defense.
Yeah.
You're thinking that because of their offense. And if the Panthers offense gets bottled up by Dallas's defense, that is a bigger sign of worry than if they got bottled up by other defenses that they've seen this year.
And another concern for Carolina as well is that, yes, I know they had the 3 sacks last game,
mm-hmm.
but they don't get to the quarterback nearly often enough. They are second to last still in the NFL in terms of sack percentage. Next to last, 31st in the NFL. Now, Dallas isn't great at it either. They're 21st in the NFL. Imagine that. You get rid of, I don't know, one of the best front 7 guys in the entire NFL. Imagine your pass rush stinks. Go figure. But nonetheless, Carolina doesn't get pressure on the quarterback on a consistent basis. They got 3 sacks against Miami, who stinks. Dallas's offense is going to be able to handle that pressure probably much better than what Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins did this past weekend as well. Can't let Dak just sit there and throw it around. George Pickens will cook you.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Ferguson will cook you. I doesn't look like CeeDee Lamb is going to play this Sunday, but Lord forbid if he does, watch out. If you're not going to get pressure on the QB in the backfield or be disruptive, I don't like the way things feel going into Sunday. I really don't.
I am open. I agree with you, but I'm open to being pleasantly surprised.
As am I.
I am open to the passing offense with a different vibe being better. That's how I'm going to phrase that. I am open to it. That doesn't mean I am expecting it, but I am open to it, which is better than I've been in the past with the Panthers. A lot of times I'm like, I don't even know why I considered it.
Yeah.